touch the golden rose of Jesus and receive a grand miracle. In this video, I have something extraordinary to share with you, something that can powerfully change the course of your life. Believe me, what I am about to reveal comes directly from God, a message He instructed me to deliver to you today. Something inexplicable and grand is about to happen in your life, and soon you will begin to feel the first signs of this divine transformation. God insists that you need to listen carefully. You absolutely cannot ignore this heavenly message. Ignoring it may lead to regret, and I know you don't want that. So, pay close attention, because what is about to happen in the next few hours will be decisive. But there is an important detail. Keep all of this a secret. This is a direct instruction from the Lord, something between you and Him. At the end of this video, I will pray with you, invoking the blessings that are about to manifest in your life. Therefore, I implore you, do not let this opportunity pass. Each time you hear a word that resonates with your heart, one that you feel is directed at you, quickly comment, "I receive." This simple gesture is an act of faith that will allow the blessings to immediately start manifesting in your life. Brother, sister, do you know that feeling in your heart, the urgency to share something important, as if it were a message God asked us to pass on to someone? This is the moment. What I am telling you is not by chance, nor is it a result of coincidences. God wants you to hear this today because He has something deep and transformative to tell you. What I am going to share is a revelation of hope, strength, and renewal. Perhaps you are facing trials, moments where difficulties seem never-ending. And maybe you've even wondered if God is listening to you, if He truly cares about your pains. I want to assure you with all the conviction in my heart that yes, God is listening to you, and He cares about every detail of your life. He has a grand purpose for you, a plan of restoration, life, and victory. You may not see it yet, but God is working in your favor. As ancient wisdom says, God doesn't choose the qualified, He qualifies the chosen. And without a doubt, you have been chosen to experience something extraordinary. What is about to happen in your life goes beyond human understanding, because it is a direct work of God's hands. Get ready for the divine move, and open your heart to receive everything He has prepared for you. No matter what you're facing right now, know that your life has a greater purpose. The difficulties you've been going through are not in vain. There is something extraordinary that God is preparing for you, something beyond your understanding. These challenges you encounter along the way are part of a transformative process. God is shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and preparing you to receive the blessings He has already set aside for you. It's crucial that you allow yourself to be guided by Him because what's coming will amaze you. I don't know exactly what you're going through right now, but if I could give you some advice, it would be to never give up. God hasn't brought you this far to leave you in the middle of the journey. He sees your tears, knows your exhaustion, and understands how hard it has been to keep going. But listen to this: every tear, every silent prayer, every moment of loneliness, God was there. He never abandoned you, not for a second. Maybe you've questioned why all of this is happening. Asked God, "Why me, Lord? Why is this happening to me?" I completely understand that feeling. I've been through similar moments. It's natural for doubts to arise when the journey becomes tough, when your confidence wavers. But there's a powerful truth you need to remember. God doesn't allow us to face challenges without a greater purpose. In Romans 8 verse 28, we learn that all things work together for the good of those who love God. And when it says all things, that includes the difficult moments, the disappointments, the struggles. All of this aligns with a divine plan for your good. I want you to hold on to this truth in your heart. Your pain is not in vain. The suffering you're experiencing now will bear fruit, and you will see God's glory manifested in your life in ways you never imagined. Sometimes, it's necessary to walk through the desert before reaching the promised land. And in this desert, God is working in you, strengthening your roots, equipping you for the great things that are coming. At the right time, when you least expect it, God's promises will start to unfold in your life. His word in Isaiah 41 verse 10 is clear. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. These words are meant for you. God is saying, son, daughter, do not be afraid. I am by your side. Even when everything seems hopeless, when darkness surrounds you, He is your light, your refuge. So, lift your head. Trust that God is already working on your behalf, even when you can't see it. It is not by chance that you are hearing this message today. Every one of your prayers, your silent tears, and those words spoken in the depths of your heart, which no one else heard, have been heard by God. I don't know exactly what you are going through or what battle you are facing, but there is one thing I am sure of. God has heard your cry and is about to place the keys to the solution you desperately need in your hands. The Word of God teaches us something very important in Philippians 4 verses 6 to 7. What does this mean? It means that God is asking you to entrust all your worries, fears, and anxieties to Him. He is the one who solves what seems unsolvable. Where everything seems closed, He opens a path. Where there is no way out, He creates new opportunities. What God is asking of you today is simple: trust. And I understand, trusting can seem impossible when no visible change is happening. But this is precisely where faith comes in. Faith is believing even when our eyes cannot see. It is knowing that, even in silence, God is working in every detail of your life, preparing the way for what is to come. I strongly feel in my spirit that many of you who are listening to me now are overwhelmed, carrying the weight of frustrations, disappointments, and dreams that seem far from being realized. But God has a clear message for you: let go of that weight. You are not made to carry the world on your shoulders. Hand everything over to Jesus. Allow Him to give you the rest you so desperately need. Know that there is a divine purpose behind every moment you have lived. Do not worry about time, circumstances, or what others say. When God chooses to bless someone, nothing can stop it. No criticism, envy, or curse can stand against the power of God. Receive this grace. Open your heart to hear the Father's voice in this moment. My dear son, my dear daughter, I am the Creator of all that exists, the one who formed the stars and painted each sunrise with perfection. I know the most intimate corners of your heart, and today I am speaking directly to you. Pause for a moment, for this message is crucial and has the power to completely transform your life. What I am about to reveal to you is as clear as the waters of a pure spring. Your destiny is about to undergo a radical change. This is not a mere course correction or a minor adjustment. I am preparing a true transformation that will open a new chapter in your life, one filled with prosperity and abundance. You cannot even imagine what I have planned for you, but know that every detail has been carefully considered. I know all your tears, I hear your sighs, and I am aware of the silent battles you fight. I see the weight you have been carrying, the worries that consume you, and I know that many times you have asked yourself, God, am I alone? But I assure you, you have never been alone. In every moment of pain and uncertainty, I was there, holding your hand with all my love. You have been courageous, my child. You have faced life's challenges with determination and have overcome every obstacle in your path. I have seen every step, every victory. I know that at times the burden seems too heavy to bear. But remember, It is precisely in moments of greatest weakness that my strength is made manifest in you. When you feel small, that is when I am great. Now, I ask that you allow yourself to feel my presence. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let my love wrap around you, like a blanket warming you on a cold night. I have never left your side. My promises remain firm in your life, and the time has come for you to prepare, because what I am about to do in your life will surpass even your greatest dreams. Receive the blessings that are being poured out upon you. You ask yourself, how, God? And I answer, faith does not know the word impossible. It is through faith that the greatest accomplishments come to pass. When I speak, the universe responds. When I decree, nothing can stop me. I am the one who calls into existence what does not yet exist. I know you have been seeking answers, asking for clear direction. Today I tell you, keep your eyes open, not just your physical eyes, but the eyes of your soul, for I am already working in your life. The signs are clear, and they are all around you. Yes, they are for you, who have often doubted your own abilities. Do not hold on to the mistakes of the past. I do not see you through the lens of your failures. I see you through the purpose and potential I placed within you. Your falls and failures are merely chapters of a larger story, a story that is still being written. And today, I am turning a new page for you. A journey of restoration, deep healing, and rebirth. There are aspects of your life that need to be left behind, relationships that no longer uplift you, wounds that still bleed, and resentments that poison your soul. The new path unfolding before you requires detachment. To walk this journey, a light heart, purified by forgiveness, is necessary. I understand how difficult it is to forgive, especially when the scars run deep and the pains still echo within you. I recognize that many wounds have been opened, some so long ago that healing seems impossible. But it is through the act of forgiveness that you will find true liberation. In this process, you will not be alone. With each step you take, I will be by your side, restoring the most wounded parts of your heart and guiding you on the journey of healing. Allow the grace of forgiveness to envelop you. My child, today I come to you with 3 sacred stories, 3 parables that contain valuable lessons. If you embrace them with seriousness and faith, you will see the doors of prosperity and fulfillment open before you in ways you could never have imagined. Listen carefully, for through these parables, I reveal profound truths and divine secrets that will lead you to growth and joy. In the first parable, there was a simple man who daily walked long distances to the river to fetch water. He carried a stick with 2 pots hanging from it, one on each end. One of the pots was flawless, always holding the water without losing a single drop, fulfilling its function perfectly. The other pot, however, was cracked. Along the way, it let the water trickle out slowly, wasting a significant portion of its contents. Day after day, the cracked pot watched the other, seeing it always arrive full, while it, feeling ashamed, could only deliver half of its load. Over time, the cracked pot became consumed by a sense of sadness. It saw itself as useless, imperfect, unworthy. Why does this man continue to carry me? It thought. I only give him more work. Half of what I carry is lost along the way. He could be more agile and effective if he carried 2 flawless pots, perfect in their function. One day, however, the cracked pot, already worn down by the pain of its own inadequacy, could no longer contain its sadness. With a muffled voice filled with guilt, it turned to its owner and confessed. "Why do you keep carrying me?" it asked, its voice trembling with sorrow. "I fail every day. I can't hold the water as I should. With each trip, most of it spills out along the way. I'm a burden to you, and a shame to myself." The man, upon hearing these self-critical words, did not respond immediately. He simply smiled with serenity and a compassionate look. "My precious pot," he said gently, "have you ever paid attention to the path we take?" And before the pot could respond, the man continued, wisdom in his voice. "Look closely at the side you hang on. Notice the difference between your side and the other." Curious, the cracked pot shifted its gaze to the path they traveled daily. To its surprise, it noticed something it had never seen before. The side it passed was teeming with life. Vibrant flowers bloomed in colors and fragrances, small trees sprouted, and the grass was lush and green. Meanwhile, the side where the perfect pot always passed remained barren, dry, and devoid of any signs of life. The man, with a glimmer of wisdom in his eyes, continued to speak. "It was precisely because of your crack, for each drop of water you let escape, that this path, which was once a desert and lifeless, has turned into a garden. The flowers that now grow are here only because you allowed the water to nourish them, day after day, through your imperfections." The pot, which until then had seen itself as a burden, began to understand the value of its flaws. The man went on. "So it is with your life. Often, you look at yourself and only see your mistakes, your falls, and the areas where you believe you have failed. You judge yourself harshly, thinking that you should be different, stronger, without flaws. But my child, it is precisely these cracks, these vulnerabilities, that allow me to work through you. Through your limitations, I let the water of life flow, quenching thirsty hearts, renewing the hopes of those who no longer believed, and bringing light to those who lived in darkness." The cracked pot, which saw itself as an obstacle, was, in fact, a bearer of blessings. "Understand, your weakness, in my eyes, is not a defect, but an opportunity for my grace to manifest more intensely. Just as that cracked pot transformed the path into a garden, you also have a special purpose. Not because you are perfect, but because, even with your flaws, I can use every aspect of you to transform the lives that cross your path. Every tear you have shed, every pain you have endured, every moment of uncertainty and suffering, I use to bring forth something new, to spread blessings wherever you go. Receive this truth with humility and joy. Therefore, do not anguish any longer, nor compare yourself to those who seem whole and without cracks. What I do in you is unique, and it is through your vulnerabilities that I bring forth the most unexpected blessings. Where there was once only desolation, there now lies a landscape filled with beauty and vitality. This happened because of what you thought was a mistake. Remember this story whenever you feel insufficient. I created you with a purpose, with a plan in mind. Even in the areas where you consider yourself imperfect, my work manifests. When you surrender to me and accept who you truly are, I turn every crack into a channel of blessings. Share this message with those who might need to hear it. When you do say, "God is telling you this today," do not ignore it. There are people around you who long to hear this word. I feel this deeply and count on your collaboration. Now, I want you to visualize a young man full of dreams, a heart vibrant with hope, and a fervent desire to achieve something great. He gazed at the imposing mountain that rose beyond the clouds, thinking, "I need to reach the top. I need to witness what no one else can see. I need to experience the peace that everyone claims exists at the summit." He heard many say it was an impossible mission, that the path was too treacherous, and that only the strongest and best prepared could succeed. However, he did not let himself be discouraged. The desire to glimpse what lay beyond pulsed in his heart in an unparalleled way. Thus, he decided he would face any challenge and take each step, no matter how arduous the journey. In the initial moments, his ascent was swift. His feet were agile, his breathing steady, and with each meter conquered, his chest filled with enthusiasm and confidence. Yet, as time passed, the circumstances began to change. The air became increasingly difficult to breathe, and the biting cold froze even his thoughts. The stones that once served as solid support became slippery and treacherous. With each step, he felt the weight of the journey increase. His knees ached, and his muscles burned, challenging his determination. But even in the face of such difficulties, he remembered the reason he had started this journey. The vision of the summit still inspired him, and the hope of reaching his goal drove him to continue. He knew that, despite the challenges, what awaited him at the top could transform his life in ways he could never imagine. And so he persisted step by step, facing the adversities, always with his gaze fixed on his dream. The desire to reach what seemed distant became his strength, and he learned that each difficulty, each pain, was part of a process that was shaping him for something greater. The mountain, which once seemed like an insurmountable obstacle, was now viewed as an opportunity for growth, a path to becoming the best version of himself. With each new challenge overcome, he grew stronger, more resilient, and each step, no matter how painful, brought him closer to his destination. This journey was not just about reaching the summit, but about the transformation that occurred within him along the way. And thus he continued, determined not to give up, in search of the peace that awaited him at the summit and the abundant life that God had planned for him. The mind began to question. Am I capable? Is it really worth it? The inner voice, which once sounded firm and fearless, now whispered uncertainties and fears. It was at this moment, in the midst of the journey where so many give up, that he encountered an elderly man, simple in appearance, yet with eyes full of wisdom. The old man lived in a modest cave, a shelter that barely protected him from the biting cold. Yet, he seemed to be in complete serenity. The young man, exhausted and on the brink of surrender, approached the elder. What should I do? The mountain is defeating me. I don't know if I can go on. I don't know if I'm strong enough. The old man smiled and invited him to sit. Young man, you are not merely climbing an external mountain. You are ascending an internal mountain. Each stone you encounter along the way represents one of your fears. Every incline is a doubt you carry about yourself. The true battle is not against the mountain itself, but against your own limits. The old man then shared a vision that transformed the young man's perspective. When many try to climb the mountain, they focus solely on the summit, on the highest point. They believe that victory lies solely in reaching the top, but every step you take is already a victory. Every time you overcome the desire to give up, you are already succeeding. Do not limit yourself to focusing only on the summit. Observe what each stage of this climb is doing to you. It is in the ascent that your strength is formed. It is in the climb that your fears dissipate. It is in the climb that you become the person capable of contemplating the summit. Upon hearing these words, the young man took a deep breath and decided to continue. From that moment on, he stopped looking at the distant and unattainable peak. He began to focus on each step he took. He started to celebrate every small progress. He paused to breathe, looked around, and recognized the beauty that existed even in the most challenging parts of the path. With every stone he overcame, he grew stronger. Over time, something extraordinary happened. The doubts began to fade away. His breathing, which had once been hurried, found a rhythm that accompanied him. The weight he felt on his shoulders no longer seemed so oppressive, for he understood that true strength came from the soul, not the body. The biting cold still persisted, but it no longer caused him as much discomfort, as the flame of his will had become more intense and vigorous. When he finally reached the summit, the young man looked down and saw the long trail he had traversed. He realized that each obstacle, Every moment of weakness, and every stone that had almost made him stop shaped his resilience. The summit was not just a physical place but a representation of everything he had overcome internally. The view was more breathtaking than he could have imagined, but the peace he felt did not come solely from what he saw with his eyes, but from what he had conquered within himself. "My son," he thought, "what I want to convey to you is that often the journey seems too arduous. The challenges seem unbearable. The desire to give up becomes your only companion. But remember, it is not the mountain that prevents you from reaching the top. The true battle is fought within you. It is the voice that murmurs, 'I can't, I'm not strong enough.' And it is this voice that you must overcome. Embrace this truth. Each of you carries a mountain to climb, a challenge to face, and often, I allow you to encounter difficulties not to test your physical strength, but to forge your spiritual strength. My desire is that every step taken, every effort made, prepares you for something much greater than you can imagine. I want you to understand that it is not the final destination that brings true fulfillment, but who you become along the journey. If at any moment you feel exhausted, my child, remember to look beyond the distant peak. Turn your gaze to each achievement you have reached so far. Reflect on every battle you have faced and every fear you have overcome. The top of the mountain is there, patiently waiting for you, because it understands that true transformation occurs during the ascent. The mountain is not your enemy, it is your ally. It presents itself as your training ground, your arena of challenges. It is here that you prepare to be strong, to cultivate resilience. Do not give up halfway. Celebrate each small advance, for true prosperity does not reside merely in reaching the peak, but in the growth of wisdom, strength, and faith with every step you take. Do you believe this? Then leave your comment. True wealth lies not in the final outcome but in the process that leads you to it. Now, listen carefully to the third surprising parable I have for you. There was a baker in a small village, known for his mouth-watering breads, the most delicious delicacy in the region. His baked goods filled the air with such an irresistible aroma that people from all corners flocked to his humble bakery. However, what many did not realize was that despite his success and the quantity of bread he sold, the baker faced serious financial difficulties. He did not accumulate wealth, did not own land, and often struggled to pay for the wheat needed for his next batch. This hidden reality reveals that behind appearances, every journey carries challenges that go beyond what the eyes can see. One morning, as the baker opened the doors of his shop, a homeless man entered, visibly weak and hungry. His deep, desperate eyes were fixed on the fresh bread laid out on the counter. Without hesitation, the baker extended his hand and gave him an entire loaf. "Here, my friend, this bread is for you," he said with a smile. The beggar, tears of gratitude in his eyes, thanked him before leaving, still amazed by such kindness. One of the customers who had witnessed the scene approached the baker and asked, "Why do you give away bread for free? You can hardly sustain your own business. How do you expect to succeed this way, if you keep offering your bread to those who cannot pay?" The baker looked at the man thoughtfully and replied, "I know I am not rich and that my business is struggling. But if I, who have the ability to help, refuse a simple loaf to someone in need, what value do I have? What kind of man would I be if I turned my back on those who need it most?" Days went by, and the baker continued his practice. Whenever someone came in search of food, he would cut a piece of bread, no matter how small. No one left his bakery without at least a crumb. Sales remained low, and with each passing day, his cash register became emptier. Yet, he believed he was doing the right thing, even without the results he hoped for. Then one night, the baker had a striking dream. In the dream, he found himself in a vast square, surrounded by a crowd. On one side were those he had fed, each holding a piece of bread. On the other side stood wealthy people, with bags full of gold, who looked enviously at the simple loaves he had offered. A soft but powerful voice echoed in his dream, "What is more valuable? The gold that fills the bags but does not satisfy the soul? Or the bread that alleviates hunger and renews hope? Your wealth, baker, is not measured in money. It is reflected in how many lives you have touched, how many hearts you have brought back to life, and how much light you have spread in the darkness." Upon waking, the baker felt his heart filled with peace. From that moment on, he dedicated himself even more to his mission. He shared what he had, even if it was little, without thinking of the return. He knew that true prosperity was not manifested merely in money and profits, but in smiles and gratitude. Life continued its course, and the baker remained steadfast in his purpose, with renewed hope for each new person he helped. But then, something extraordinary happened. One day, a well-dressed man, with a calm and determined look, entered the bakery. He was a wealthy merchant who had heard about the baker's deeds. He observed the surroundings, noted the simplicity of the bakery and the nearly empty shelves, but he saw something deeper. He saw the light in the eyes of someone who had learned to share, even amid scarcity. Without saying a word, the merchant left a bag full of coins on the counter and said, "This is the payment for the breads that have yet to be made." The baker, surprised, asked, "What do you mean? Which breads are those?" And the merchant replied, "The breads that you will continue to offer to those who are hungry." This revelation would become a turning point in the baker's life, as he began to realize that by feeding others, he was also nourishing his own soul and the true abundance. "I have become aware of your actions and wish to be a part of them. Nourishing the body is essential, but nurturing hope and compassion is even more significant. Use this financial resource so that your generosity knows no bounds." The baker, with tears in his eyes, expressed his deep gratitude. In that moment, he realized that when he offered from the heart, even if it was a small portion, God always found ways to multiply what was given. He understood that true prosperity does not reside solely in accumulating for oneself, but in sharing with others. With each act of donation, more resources were provided to him. His bakery became a symbol of generosity, and over time, it began to prosper in ways he had never imagined. Understand, dear child, the lesson here is that true prosperity is not measured by what is kept but by what is shared. When you help someone without expecting anything in return, you are sowing seeds in fertile soil. These seeds grow, and the rewards that come back to you are not just material but also spiritual and emotional. Every time you reach out to someone in need, I am watching and rewarding the generosity that springs from the heart. The baker thought that by giving away the bread, he was losing something, but in reality, he was enriching his life. With each act of letting go, new doors opened before him. So do not be afraid to be generous. Do not worry if it seems like you are at a disadvantage when helping others. I am taking care of you and preparing surprises that go beyond your understanding. Generosity is a flowing river, and everything you give always returns to you, bringing even more. Accept my care, my love, and my blessings. My child, do not be deceived. True prosperity is not merely having a full bank account or material possessions. What I offer you is inner peace, abundant health, genuine relationships, and a purpose that transcends your circumstances. When you align your life with my principles and seek wisdom in every step, I open doors and pour limitless blessings upon you. Not because you are better than others, but because you have chosen the path of obedience, perseverance, and integrity. So pay close attention. If you wish to prosper, accept your imperfections. Overcome yourself and build your life with love and dedication. And by doing so, you will witness God's hand at work in your life in ways that surpass all human logic. These 3 parables go beyond simple narratives. They hold deep truths that can transform your life. Do not let these teachings disperse without making an impact. Reflect on them, put them into practice, and prepare to experience a prosperity that will not only change your life, but also the lives of everyone around you. I am your Father, and I want you to have a full and abundant life. Therefore, move forward with confidence, for your future in me is already filled with blessings. Dear friend, share this video with your friends and family. Together, let's touch the lives of 1 million people. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to receive updates on more inspiring content like this. May everyone be blessed by our mighty Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.